Hi everyone, welcome to a nice, relaxing episode of the Broken Meeple. A top 10 that would have you nice and chilled, nice and at peace with yourself. May you find enlightenment when going through... Okay, that's getting annoying now. This is a top 10 episode, guys. Yes, now that the top 100 is over and done with, I can get on with doing some top 10s because I got this little book whilst I was at the UK Games Expo. Asmodee were giving them out, these nice little jotter pads. You know, it's a jotter pad. What do I care? Well, I took a bit of inspiration from Tom Bassel that he got given for his birthday, I think, last year, a book which was called The Book of Top 10s. And basically it had all these different top 10s in there, and every now and again he'd just write a different top 10. I wish I had that book, actually. Is there one in UK I can buy? Because I love top 10 lists. There's just something I like about making lists. I just sort of get off on it. But what I chose to do with this book was make this my own little top 10 list book. This is the book that I use to come up with every top 10 that I have been doing since the UK Games Expo. Be it one on video, be it ones I do on the podcast, be it ones I do at panel conventions, like I'm going to Uncon, a little one-day mini convention in Ramsgate, Kent at the end of October. And they want me to do a panel there with Michael from Two Can Play That Game, which I'm really looking forward to. But we're doing the top 10 mechanics in games, so, you know, I'm being very specific. I'm picking 10 very key mechanics, not just simply drafting. But I've got a list for that as well, so I just need to rank them in order. But, you know, that is what this is for. This is going to be my collection of top 10 lists. And the first one in the book, which I've been meaning to do for a little while, is top 10 Zen Games. So that's what this episode's all about. You know, a lot of us will play games to relieve us of stress, or to escape from reality, or to get off from a hard working day and you just want to, you just want to chill. Well, most games will do that anyway, even if there's a little bit of stress involved or, you know, some heightened arguing or anything like that. You'll still enjoy yourself, and that in a way is stress relief. But these games are the top 10 that I would pick from if I really need to chill. Like, I know that there's people that are easily angered around the table, or I'm just like, I just need to chill, I just need to relax. I need something that is going to guarantee to make me just go, You know, there may be the odd bit of conflict and the odd bit of like, take that. But very little, or if it is, it's going to be very light, very fluffy, and you won't necessarily care too much about it. But yeah, these are probably like my top 10 games that I choose if I just want to relax, to really just unwind and clear my mind. This is my meditation of board games. So without further ado, let's get started. The top 10 Zen games from the Broken Meeple. Just like with the top 100, I'm going to do a bit of a show and tell if I have the game. So my number 10 requires me to get a rather big box off the shelf. So if you just bear with me for a second, I will get this massive thing off because, yeah, not every Zen game has to come in a small box. But this one was, I'm not going to spoil it, but this was very high in my top 100, and that is Viticulture, or Viticulture with Tuscany, or Viticulture Essentials, doesn't really matter. But you're thinking, a midweight Euro as a Zen game? Well, it has just squeaked on the list at number 10, but I do get a relaxed feeling when I play this one, and a lot of that comes down to the theme. I love theme in games, and the more I can get sucked into that theme, the more relaxed I feel anyway. With this one, I like wine. I have a wine rack downstairs, I enjoy wine, I like wining and dining, and with this one, that theme of making wine just, I don't know, it just calms me down, and even though there is tension for the worker placement spots, you feel like you can still do what you need to do. Yeah, you might not be as efficient as other players, but it's not like, I got no chance of winning now. It's not overly punishing. But you can just say, you know what, I'm just going to make some grapes and make some wine and just go calmly through the motions. You might even pick up a few of the structure cards from the Tuscany expansion and go, you know what, I'm just going to run a cafe. Or I'm going to focus on the cheap wines. You know, you can pick your path and run with it. But the look of the game, the color, the artwork, everything just looks very, you know, bright and beautiful. Definitely one of my most Zen type, probably the heaviest Euro on the list actually for this. Yep. Well, I don't know. You might dispute my number 9 as being heavier, but we'll get into that in a second. But now, I just enjoy the theme, the winemaking feel, just really just puts me in a nice relaxed state. I've never had a game of this where I've been angry or, like stressed out or anything like that. The closest I've ever come is when I tried to teach this to new players with 6 of us. Yeah, that was a mistake. But, otherwise, I'm just there and I'm content. So Viticulture squeaks onto the list at number 10. My number 9 could probably be said to be the most heaviest game on this list. I mean, you might argue Viticulture is, but we'll see what decision you make. And again, it's not the fact that a game doesn't have to be light to be Zen for me. It has to give me a theme that I can just get sucked into, and that nearly came out wrong. But one that I can just engage with, and one that I'm just put in a happy mood, regardless. This one is right behind me, and that is the Pursuit of Happiness. Now, okay, it's Zen Games. So the fact it's got happiness in the title must give you a clue, surely. But with this one, again, a lot of it comes down to the theme, but also the fact that this is a sandbox-style game. I can pick however I want to live my life in this. It's essentially the Game of Life Euro Edition, as I call it. And with this, you are basically, starting off as a teenager and you are going to old age and you're doing all sorts. You're getting a job, you're finding a girlfriend, raising a family, undertaking all these projects, buying a hoard of items, taking on activities, and you choose how you want to play. And yes, it's a worker placement game and there's a lot to think about, but it's very colourful, sort of cartoony artwork, everything's all bright and everything on the table. But I just love that theme of, I'm living my life how I want to. I don't feel the game is playing me, I'm playing the game, and I'm choosing what I want to do. Do I want to be the nerdy kid who goes after all the miniature collections? Then great, I will do that. Do I want to have a job and a huge family and I'm not sure that's the way I'd want to live my life, but do I want that? Then I can. Do I want to just literally be by myself for the rest of my life and do nothing but go on activities in extreme sports? I can do that. So this one just gives me that freedom of choice, whilst being quite funny as well, because you get to see all the weird and wonderful stuff that you and your opponents are doing with their life, and as they roleplay it and tell the story, you get into the theme, it just grabs me. This one is definitely one of my favourite Euros. I can't remember where it hit the top 100, but it's definitely one that I still find very entertaining and very great to play, especially if I just want to calm down. And a solo mode in this also helps. I don't tend to play the Viticulture solo mode very much, but this one, I occasionally whip out the solo mode because you just got to get a certain amount of points, meet some goal conditions, but you can choose how you want to do it. Freedom of choice is one way to try and make a Zen game. Don't restrict the players, let them do what they want to do. So my number 9, Pursuit of Zen-like Happiness. Okay, we're now going to start getting gradually lower and lower in terms of game weight. This one's kind of on par with Viticulture, I would say, in weight. Maybe a bit less, I don't know. But this one is another Euro kind of choose your own adventure style game. It's an upgrade to a previous game called Above and Below by Ryan Luckett. And for me, this one has been going very well with some friends of mine where we've been playing the campaign on a weekly basis. And I've also tried some solo games with it. Well, not solo, but the one-off games with it. And if I can just get it out, there we go. Near and Far. Choose Your Own Adventure is a good way to just sort of unwind, because I used to love those books. The Fighting Fantasy ones and some of the other ones where you read the passage and you made a decision what you were going to do. You might have rolled some dice, compared it to a roleplay skill sheet, and then you found out the next bit of the adventure. Those were always a good way to unwind, and this one does that for me as well, but in a nice, light-hearted feel. I mean, yeah, there's a fairly involved Euro game under this, and granted, I seem to have a bit of an advantage with the players I play this with at the moment, but hopefully that will change. But yeah, I really do enjoy this one. It's a great. It's getting a bit dark. I apologise, but with this, you go through this map, you're
finding new missions as you go through this storybook that tells you like, oh, you meet a toad, an anthropomorphic toad on a tree, and he gives you gems but asks you to go hunt down this killer animal that's been hunting you in the woods, or you might go to a settlement and decide, you know what, I'm going to steal all their treasure from behind their back. You can be as good or as evil as you want in this. And again, it's that feeling of good theme. The theme is very strong in this, and being able to do what I want to do. Do I want to be an evil guy and go around and pillage and stuff? Well, that's my choices I'm going to make when I do the quests, and my reputation is going to go down the pan, but that's the way I am. Do I want to just hire the biggest band of guys that I can and have the biggest team ever? Then go ahead. Do I just want to mine all game? Do I want to go exploring more? Do I want to hunt down all the trade routes? It's not entirely sandbox, but I can still choose what I want to do, and I think the theme in this is just very engaging. I get sucked into the world. I'm interested to see as we go through the campaign whether recurring characters come back and how your character develops, because you level it up with skills and that. But I just get a kick out of it. It's very colourful, the components are great, you've got like a big spiral bound book for the maps and all the quests. It's great when you go, alright, that was the rest of it. I get a side quest, and then later on you're desperate to go hunt down that side quest because you're going to do something unique that the other players are not going to do. It gives me a good feeling, this one. I feel calm when I play it. I don't feel tensed up from, if I get kicked out of areas, if I lose duels, or if I don't get the rewards I want. I just kind of feel at ease when I play this game, and that tends to happen with a lot of those choose-your-own-adventure style games anyway. Tales of the Arabian Nights was another example, but I prefer this one to Tales of the Arabian Nights because this one has a more cohesive story element. It doesn't feel quite as random. So, my number 8, Near and Far. We're going to start coming down the weight table now, I think. There we go, adjust the light a bit there. Hopefully I'm not quite so shadowy and overexposed now, but my number 7, yes, this one has been going very well with groups ever since I bought it from Essen last year, and last year being 2016, depending when you watch this video. But this one is a nice light push-a-luck game, and this has destroyed all traces of games like Ink and Gold for me. Celestia. Celestia is a great bluffing push-a-luck game with a very light theme. You are flying in the ship trying to get treasures from these different locations, but you roll dice and you're trying to beat the hazards by playing cards. But each player has a chance to jump out of the ship before you decide whether you can do the action or not. So you're kind of bluffing them to say, no, jump out, I can't make this, can't do it, no, we're all going to die here. And you're hoping that they'll jump out if you know you can succeed, and vice versa, you want them to stay in the ship if you know you're going to crash and burn. It's very light-hearted. Yes, there is a slight element of take that in places, but it's just very easy to teach this game. 1 or 2 special cards can be a bit fiddly, but otherwise, new players can get into this really well. It looks fantastic with that ship full of the pawns on the back. The artwork is sublime and beautiful. It's just got that nice calm feeling and air about it. Yes, you bluff in that, but it's just very light. Nobody's angry at anyone. People laugh and chuckle when the ship crashes and burns. People are like, oh my god, I can't believe you were able to succeed that. And the game doesn't take too long. 30 minutes, 45 tops with a max count of players. It's a great one. And the expansion, mini expansion, I forget what it was called, but like a little card expansion, I think it was called A Little Help, it improved it even more. But this one just goes down well with groups. I mean, the box has seen a fair bit of wear because it gets played very often. This was one of my surprises that I found at Essen, a reprint of Cloud 9 essentially, and I saw how much fun it looked on Dice Tower Live Marathons, so when I saw this I thought, let's give it a try and see if it holds up, and wow, it does. Definitely one that I like when it's like, you know what guys, we just need a quick filler to end the night or get started on the night. How about Celestia? My number 6 is a party game, but it's probably one of the more calmer party games. I mean, you can still have a laugh, but you just get sucked into the colourful imagery. You enjoy, all the people around you as you try and get in their heads. But for the most part, you're looking at very nice storybook art imagery, and you're trying to think, now, what does that clue fit, and how can I get people to guess mine? This is a sort of more, what's the word? Trying to think, a calmer party game than most. But I've got so many cards for it now, it's kind of ridiculous. And that is the ever popular and ever great Dixit. Yes, this is Odyssey, but pretty much whichever Dixit you've got and whichever expansions you've got, it doesn't matter. I've got so many cards in here from expansions, it's getting a little bit heavy and I'm running out of space in here, which is a shame. I hope maybe we can get a Dixit storage solution. Broken token, wink wink. Yeah, still love this one. It's just a calm party game. You get some people that are screaming at each other's heads or something that I've heard from reports, but I've never had that with this. I can play this with the family in a nice calm setting. I can play this at game groups or, here with other people in a nice calm way. It's not that it falls flat or anything. You still have a laugh, but laughing's good for you. It's a good way to calm down. And I think it's just all those lovely cards that you can get in this. You look at the pictures and yeah, they're all surreal and weird, but you just get absorbed into that imagery. It just feels calm, very soothing, particularly certain expansions. Some of them feel a bit more creepy, but you look at that picture and you think, what on earth was the artist thinking when they did this? And even if you can't think that that much into it, just enjoy the colour, enjoy the pretty pictures. So Dixit had to make this list. There's other games that will calm me more than this one, but yeah, if I want a party game that I can easily bring new people into, but doesn't have to be quite so loud, to wake up the neighbours or get too stressful for a party game, this is the one. Dixit, my number 6. I'm going to have to go fetch this one, aren't I? Yeah, it's right at the end of this cupboard. So, bear with me 1 second. I am still in the room. Yes, wait, come on. Come on, doggy. Come on. Out the way. Wait, stop biting my leg. Right, here we go. Whew. Snowtails, my number 5. This one, well, we'll get onto that in another review. Will this be my favourite racing game ever? Questionable. We're going to find out soon. But for now, at least per my top 100, this is my favourite racing game. Snowtails is just a great, light, fluffy racing game where you are dog sledding on a track. The track is random. You can customize it however you like. You're dodging trees, you're going through narrow ravines, but all you have to do is play up to 3 cards around. 1 card for each of the 2 dogs and 1 for your brake. Add the numbers, subtract the brake, and that's your speed. Slow down when you get to a corner, speed up afterwards, and try not to break down and completely crash before you get to the end. It's just such a nice theme, and maybe it's because I love husky dogs. I've never owned one, but I just like husky dog breed. I think it's my favourite breed out of all dogs. I don't know, there's just something about them. They just look so adorable. I love them. And I really want to go husky dog sledding. So if I ever get a chance to go on a cruise up to Arctic Circle or on a holiday, maybe Iceland or something, I don't know, do they have husky dogs there? But yeah, I really want to do husky dog sledding. It's something I want to achieve in my life. But this is just a straight up great light gateway racing game. I have recommended this, I think, on the Throat Punch Lunch starting tile segment, before, and I stand by it. It's a short game. We're talking about an hour to play. If it takes any longer, then someone's thinking too hard. Maybe with 5 players, you're looking at longer than an hour, but yeah, typically I play this with sort of 3 or 4 players is good. Can take any age, can take kids. It's just a very nice, fluffy, easy racing game, and when I play it, I just get sucked into that theme and I just enjoy the light-hearted racing aspect. You're not shouting at each other constantly going, "Why did you block me?" There are other racing games for that. This one just feels nice, light, fluffy. And I love husky dogs. Maybe that's a factor, I don't know. But I think theme is a strong reason for why a game could be a Zen-like game for me. May not be necessarily one for you, but it's definitely my Zen racing game of choice. Snowtails, my number 5. Now sometimes with a Zen game, with my number 4 especially in particular, you just want to play the game by yourself. You know, I like solo gaming. You know, some people will scoff at the idea of playing a game solo. Personally, I think there's a time and a place for solo and group games, just great side by side. This one, though, is a solo only game. I can only play this by myself. But it is a very nice relaxing theme. It's very light, but there's a good amount of depth to keep me thinking, but not strain my brain. This was a complete surprise at last year's Essen of 2016, and I never expected I would like it, especially as it was from a Korean publisher. I thought, I don't normally go mad for all these sort of Japanese import games and that. You know, I mean, some of them are good, but I don't like actively seek them out. This one, though, surprised me. It got very high as a debut in my top 100, and that is the slightly hard to get hold of Coffee Roaster. Solo only. I've taught this to people, and I've literally just supervised, and they've enjoyed it as well. It's got a lot more depth than you think for a typical bag building game, but essentially you are just roasting coffee. You choose a coffee, you fill your bag with these tokens, you spend several turns drawing the tokens out and doing shenanigans with them, like, you know, leveling up the beans and getting rid of bad beans and smoke, trying not to burn your beans, you know, trying to get taste, aroma, and, you know, and other things, you know, in acidity into your coffee to score more points. And then basically, eventually, you will say, I'm ready to start brewing. And then you pour the tokens into this, well, you don't literally pour, but you have a cup with spaces and you're effectively pouring your coffee, and 10 tokens will come out, and that will dictate how good your coffee scores. You can do one at a time, do a menu of 3. There's lots of variety in the coffees here. Some are harder than others. You know, you can have beginner difficulty and advanced. It's just a very nice solo game. It's easy to learn. You know, it's not that complicated, but when you play it, you just feel like I'm just roasting coffee. I'm not trying to overthrow some warlord with my mighty army. I'm not trying to solve this massive riddle to stop the bomb before it blows up or anything. I'm just roasting coffee. And I'm a tea drinker. I don't normally drink coffee except to try and wake up in the morning when I go to work. You know, caffeine, I kind of need it. Would explain a few things maybe. But Coffee Roaster, it completely surprised me at Essen. I played it and thought, I want this solo game in my life. Bought it there and then. Perfect. Suits me down to the ground. So when I need a solo game that I can play nice and easy, because I believe, yep, the ones coming up in the final 3 are not solo games, this is definitely my solo game of choice if I just want the ultimate Zen experience, just to brew coffee. Coffee Roaster, my number 4. My number 3 is a new game for this year, actually. One of the best that I've played out of 2017. Now, when I say best played, I don't mean like, oh my god, it's the most enjoyable game ever. But in terms of sleek design, streamlining, rules, accessibility, component quality, this just ticks a lot of boxes. It's one of the best gateway games I have seen, and definitely in the polyominoes category, where you put the Tetris pieces down, then this is definitely my pick of choice. And that is, here we are, straight behind me. Oop, don't let that fall down. Don't let it fall down. There we go. Baron Park, or Bear Park. Yes, I have talked highly about this game, and I think I was too harsh on it in my review. I gave it a 7. I think I've upgraded it to an 8 since then. I think it's well deserving of that, but wow. Within, maximum 45 minutes, you can get a 4-player game of Polyomino Tetris-style pieces, and it's just so light and so fluffy. And yes, you might think, well, it's because it's got bears on it. Yeah, we know how much you like bears, Luke. Okay, fine, I like bears. But that helps. This is my top 10 Zen games, not the top 10 games I say everyone must go and buy if you like Zen. You know, this is just one of those, like, nice relaxing games. You know, we need a filler, Luke. We need something that won't take more than 45 minutes and that you can teach us really quickly. Here you go, Baron Park. You just have your grid, you take the various bearer, paddocks and the tiles of different shapes and things like toilet stands and waterfalls, etc. You put them on your grid, and as you cover up the symbols, you get more tiles, you get more grids, carry on until somebody has filled up all 4 grids that they'll get, and there you go. Multiple ways to score. It's a kind of a, person who gets there first gets the most points, including the advanced mode objectives, and, it's just very nice and calming. something about this designer actually. I mean, I don't know all his games, but Phil Walker Harding just has this thing that when he designs a light game, it's great design and really streamlined and really easy and light. So if he ever comes out with another sort of light game in the future, I'm going to be keeping my eye on it because I reckon it will be a solid entry. But for now, this one, Baron Park. This is my choice for all those polyomino games. And I like Cottage Garden, but it's a bit dry, it's a bit long for what it is, and that whole like cubes up the score track thing is really fiddly and weird. You know, I wasn't the biggest fan of Cottage Garden. Patchwork is still a great game. It's a great 2-player only game though, that's the thing. And this one can go up to 4 players and take about as much time as Patchwork does. So, sorry Patchwork, this replaces you for me. But, you know, if you just want that 2-player only game that's more portable than this, then yeah, definitely check out Patchwork, it's really good. And Feast for Odin, yeah, I'm not going to suggest that as your first polyomino game. And certainly not as a Zen game anyway. This one though, Baron Park, love it, great, works well as a filler, works well with families and everything. If I just want to say, I'm building a park for the bears, that's nice. You know, works for me as a Zen game. Baron Park, my number 3. Okay, 2 more now. I've got a choice with my number 2. Do I get the box down there? Or do I get the box up there? I don't want to overload this video too much, so I'll get the box down there, okay? This one is a game that I use at Dice Portsmouth events very regularly. I've got the normal version with the expansion. I've now got the deluxe version also with the deluxe expansion on it. It's one of my top 10 games of all time. And whether I play this with 2, 3 or 4 players, it's just so relaxing because all you've got to do is move this cute little panda around on tiles and grow bamboo trees and eat them. And it's just so light and fluffy, but with a decent amount of depth. You can't just autopilot it. You've got to be aware of where you've got to move the panda and the gardener and what order you do actions in. But can you... well, actually, I can think of one. It's my number 1. But with this... Is this so Zen-like? Yeah, you might move the panda away from somewhere else. This light-hearted bit of conflict, but the way this looks on the board, I mean, not just the deluxe version, but this one as well. The different colour bamboo trees and the tiles, all pretty and colourful. Nice little panda miniature that you move around, nom 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 nom, you know, eating the bamboo. You can't help but say that when you do this game. It just ticks so many boxes for me, and it's hard to describe. I mean, you're growing bamboo trees and moving a panda around to eat the bamboo with lots of pretty colour bamboo pieces and tiles. What more do I need to say? It just looks... Doesn't the box just give you the impression that this is a nice, calm, friendly game? You know, it doesn't matter that I like bears. Yes, I like pandas as well, you know, but... there's just something about this one. I never had a bad game teaching it. People have enjoyed it. You know, the kids can enjoy the deluxe version. It's gone down so well at Dice Portsmouth events. The expansion made this even better. Maybe took it a bit above gateway level, but it still made it even better for me. And it means I get to have this cute little guy running around as a mascot everywhere. See? My lovely panda. There you go. You've seen him in videos, but he makes a guest appearance here. So, yeah. What else can I say? Takinoko is one of my favourite games that I like to play of all time. My number 2 Zen game, there is one that I would pick just above this one, and we're talking borderline. Like, it was hard to rank these two, but yeah, definitely. You want a nice light family game for, you know, kids and adults alike. For Zen, definitely look up Takinoko. And finally, my number 1 Zen game, and I think most of you have probably called this. In fact, those of you who like this game would probably have put this as a number 1 on your Zen chart, but well, I'll ask you about that later. This one I'm going to have to get it from up there though, because I only have a deluxe version of this, and thankfully it's on the top, so if I've got some spare exit games I need to play. Let's just put those away for a minute, unbox those later. Here we go. They say I've got to be careful because I don't want to tip this too much, but yeah, upside down. That's not good. There we go. Tokaido. Yeah, come on. You called it. What else did you expect? This game, Tokaido, is just the epitome of Zen Games. The game practically talks about the word at several points in it. You are basically travelling along this road and you are doing anything from collecting little pretty panoramic pictures to bathing in the springs to eating ramen at restaurants to donating at the church, grabbing souvenirs. Whatever you want to do, you can do in this game. Play it how you like. Yes, there's a little bit of a sort of take that element where you're stitching up other players based on the turn order and blocking their spaces, but you just can't get angry at this. Oh, actually, I can think of some people who could. That's just because they hate the game. Shame on you. But yeah, I just get a kick out of it. I think this was number 30. Yeah, I think it was 30 in my top 100, or certainly around there. And I just feel at utter peace playing this game. Nobody can really, honestly, if you like this game, nobody can be playing this getting stressed out like crazy. It's just nice, light, beautiful. The app for this is really good as well. The Tokaido app, I play it every now and again for, calm down solo mode. It's just, one of Antoine Bowser's best. He's just such a good designer when it comes to these light thematic games. And this one has a good amount of theme. It's a very easy to pick up Euro. I've even brought this to Dice Portsmouth events at times because it goes down very well. It's just easy to teach the rules. I just give people some characters and say, this is how you play it, and then let them go off and say, do what you want to do. What do you want? Pictures, souvenirs, meals? Go for it. See what happens. Very light, very beautiful. I hear there's a 5th anniversary of this game coming out soon this year. If you have not picked up Tokaido yet and fancy it, I highly recommend waiting for that 5th anniversary edition because they've made changes to the artwork. It still looks as beautiful as ever. You're not going to need it if you already own the game, like the original, or certainly if you own this deluxe version, because it doesn't really change the mechanics, it's just a cosmetic upgrade. But yeah, Tokaido, how can I say any more? It is my number one Zen game without a shadow of a doubt. I'm at a group, I just want light games for the night, it's been a hard day at work. Can we play Tokaido, guys? It will calm me down. No way it wouldn't. So yeah, Tokaido, that is my number one, and those are my top 10 Zen games. Now, I want to engage with you guys as much as every other contributor does, so, well, some anyway. And I want to know what your Zen games are. You don't have to give a whole top 10 list unless you really want to. I'll read it. But I want to know what your pick for Zen game is. Are there some on this list that you think stress you out too much to be a Zen game? Is there a game I've not mentioned that is your chosen Zen game? Write it in the comments, write it in the Facebook chat and the Twitter posts. I want to know about it. I want the discussion, because that's one of the best things about doing top 10s is that people give you their opinions as to what their favourites are, and then you can get into great little debates, and it just feels great. So that's it for me. The next top 10 list, I'm not sure which one am I going to pick out of this book for that. I'll tell you what, I'll read out a couple and I'm going to get you guys to vote, alright? So, I have top 10 loves in games. So these are the top 10 things that I like to look for in a great game, or things that just really make me go, yes, that's good, I'm glad that's in this game. If you pick that, I also have the contrast, top 10 hates in games, so I might have to do them as a two-parter. I also have top 10 games based on intellectual properties, so, I can do that list if you like. Or if you want to get on my case about the fact that I'm not usually a fan of exceedingly long games, well, I have my top 10 long games in here to prove a point that I do like some games that are long. So those are 3/4 that I've got in the book ready to go, ready to rank. So which ones do you fancy? Let me know in the comments, and whichever one over the course of all my social media gets the most votes, I'll do that one next. So until then, hope you enjoyed this top 10, and I'll see you on the next Broken Meeple episode. Just remember, all these games, they may stress you out maybe, or they may give you that Zen-like feeling you need. Just remember, they're all still games. See you next time, guys.